ウルフィン、あんたとの追いかけっこもこれで終わりよ、ライチン。
Yo, what's up everybody? It's your boy Reggie here, back with you for another video. Welcome back to the House of Animation, where we have discussions and reviews about our favorite anime and cartoons. And for this video, I want to have a conversation about the Straw Hats, and how I believe for a majority of the Straw Hats, they are much weaker than I think they should be at this level of the story. I mean, we are currently in Elbaf, one of the last islands of the Grand Line within the New World. Oda said himself that we are coming up on the final saga for the story of One Piece, and about half of the Straw Hats don't even have basic forms of Haki. I mean, let's think about it for a second. The Straw Hats are legitimate Yonko crew. They have a grand fleet of over 5,000 members, and the commanders of that grand fleet, half of them couldn't even touch a pre-time skip smoker. So I'm starting a series of videos where I'm gonna be going through each of the Straw Hats and talk about what upgrades they need and what level I believe they should be at by the end of the Elbaf story. And obviously from the thumbnail, we're starting off with Nami. So before we get into that, please make sure to comment, like, and subscribe if you like this type of content and you want to see more videos like this. So without any more waiting, let's drop the intro. So everyone, the Straw Hats, a legitimate Yonko crew. How strong should these commanders be? Because I truly believe as we're getting to the final stages of this story, we cannot put all of the pressure on Luffy, Zoro, Sanji, and Jinbe. The other Straw Hats have to be able to pick up the slack and at least fight against some of the weaker opponents 1v1. So let's start out with everyone's favorite, Nami. At this point of the story, Nami has a 366 million berry bounty. Nami has a higher bounty than pre-time skip Luffy, Kid, and Law. Now, as we all know, bounties aren't the end-all be-all when it comes to strength, but what bounties do is that they give you a relative gauge on how powerful you may be. But at this level of the story, even in Elbaf with a bounty this high, does anybody believe that Nami would be able to even compare to Luffy, Law, and Kid pre-time skip? Wait, I'll answer my own question for you. Fuck no. So let's start by talking about all of Nami's one-on-one fights, which should be fairly easy because she only has 2. Nami's first notable 1v1 was against Miss Doublefinger, and actually I can really say that I enjoyed this fight. Nami being able to face off against Miss Doublefinger, who was the partner for Mr. One, Daz Bones, was really enjoyable because it showed that Nami was actually competent when it comes to a fight. The next 1v1 that we see Nami in is against the CP9 member Khalifa. To me, this is Nami's best fight to date because not only it shows her strength being able to defeat a government agent, it was actually also tactical because Nami was using a lot of tricks with her new climb attack to be able to defeat Khalifa. And those are Nami's only one-on-one fights, both of them being pre-time skip. Now, Nami has gotten many upgrades to her climb attack, her most notable and recent being the addition to Zeus. Granted, those powers being much less powerful in her hands than they were in Big Mom's, but still, Zeus being added to Nami's arsenal is really dope because it basically kind of has Nami's climb attack have its own devil fruit, which really amps up how powerful Nami is. But I still think she's too weak for where she should be. See, Nami was able to defeat Khalifa, and post-time skip, Nami obviously got much stronger and added a lot more weapons to her arsenal. But even with the addition of Zeus, I feel confidently enough that I could place Nami 1v1 at the Jabra Kaku level pre-time skip. Now, I know some of you might be saying, yo, Reggie, you are out of your fucking mind. There is no way Nami would be able to beat Kaku and Jabra pre-time skip. And that's where I would have to disagree with you. Remember, Kaku and Jabra were not far apart power-wise. Kaku was a little bit stronger than Jabra. And Nami, with the addition of Zeus, was able to knock out Ulti, a Tobi Roppo in Kaido's beast crew. Now granted, Ulti was heavily injured by Big Mom, but still, Nami with the addition of Zeus was able to knock her out. We're still talking about a Tobi Roppo and someone who has an ancient zone, and we know how strong they are. And there's no way in hell you are gonna tell me that this attack right here is not stronger than a pre-time skip Sanji Diambo Jambe. So the power up that I want Nami to get is that I want Vegapunk, who's on Elbaf, to upgrade Nami's climb attack. So this is how I want it to happen. We already know that Vegapunk was able to study Kizaru's Pika Pika no Mi fruit and was able to study his powers and abilities and give those same powers and abilities to the Pacifistas. We also know that one of the times that Kaido was captured, Vegapunk was able to study his fruit to the level that Vegapunk was able to clone it to a near perfect match. So what I would want is that since we know that Vegapunk already studied Kaido's fruit, I would love her to be able to upgrade Nami's climb attack to be able to give her and Zeus some of the weather-based abilities that Kaido was able to do. Imagine that with an upgrade from Vegapunk, Nami and Zeus would be able to do a borrow breath. Imagine if Nami was able to replicate Kaido's wind slashes, or use that and Zeus, who is technically a cloud, to create massive tornadoes. With that level of upgrade, I do think Nami would become much stronger than where she is. If she's able to do that, I think she would really be able to earn her 366 million berry bounty. And I would be able to comfortably say that Nami should be able to go 1v1 against a pre-time skip Rob Lucci. Now don't get me wrong, I think it will be high difficulty mainly because Nami's a bit of a glass cannon. Nami has amazing attacks, but leaves a lot to be desired when it comes to defense and evasiveness. But don't forget, Nami still has her Mirage Tempo, where she's not only able to create illusions, she's also able to coat herself in cool air to be able to be partially invisible. Now imagine using that in conjunction with Zeus, where Zeus might be able to cool down an entire area, creating dozens if not hundreds of fake clones. These are the type of upgrades that I need Nami to have by the end of Elbaf. Because if the Straw Hat crew is gonna be going up against God's Knights and CP0 agents and admirals and other pirates, like, the rest of the crew really has to be able to pick up the slack. And I know some of you are probably saying, hey Reggie, why not give Nami Haki? She could easily have observation Haki. But for me personally, I'm actually okay with Nami not having Haki. She might be the only member of the crew I'm okay with not having Haki. Because to me, I only need Nami to be able to handle the fodder foot soldiers and maybe some of the weaker opponents when times get rough and we need to go 1v1. But this is what I need to see from our red-headed navigator. So comment below and let me know what you think of the power-ups that I gave to Nami. Do you think with these power-ups she would be able to beat a pre-time skip Rob Lucci 1v1? Do you think I made Nami overpowered, or do you think I didn't give her enough powers and I need to give her more new abilities? Comment below and let me know. But with that, I got nothing left for this video. So, peace.